While we bring you this breaking news and developing story, the future of Dada Morero as the executive mayor of the City of Johannesburg is once again uncertain. This after the city's former executive mayor and current councilor with Jamah, Kabelo Gwamanda, submitted a notice of a vote of no confidence motion against Morero. A previous motion was withdrawn. The notice of motion, seen by SABC News, cites two reasons. The first being that they believe Morero failed to provide decisive leadership and to deliver on urgent service delivery needs of the residents of Johannesburg. And the second, that they believe under Morero's tenure, the city has experienced persistent governance instability and worsening service delivery challenges. Council is yet to confirm receipt of the filing or set a date for the debate. I want to bring into the conversation now ANC Greater Johannesburg Regional Secretary Sasabona Manganye. Sasabona, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. We'd like to perhaps start the conversation by getting your immediate response to the motion filed by Jamah and seconded by the UDM.
Yeah, look, good evening and good evening. Look, the motion that has been raised by Jamah, seconded by UDM, is a motion that they raised last year, which we were able to have an engagement at the level of the Political Management Council of the coalition. And at that particular level, we agreed in principle that matters of this nature are not matters that you resolve through issues of motions. Are matters that we must resolve properly as a coalition. If there are concerns, we engage internally. And that motion was withdrawn. So the motion that they are raising now is not a new motion. It's just the same motion that was raised before, which the Political Management Council of the coalition in Johannesburg has a position on it. Of course, I think there are a number of issues that they are raising, of which some of them we do not agree with them. Some have long been resolved, and some we were about to finalize them. And I think probably they are just being impatient. But we believe that it's a motion that will not be able to find the light of the day in council. We don't even think it deserves even to get to the level of council. As you know, when you are in a coalition, you are one famous party who must agree on how to deal with issues. Yep. So we don't think this motion on the 29th of January will be find its way there. Even if it was to be in the agenda, the parties themselves, they don't even have more than 5 councillors. So they will not even be able to shake the executive mayor. So that's the reflection that we can give as the African National Congress on this motion.
Yeah. You mentioned impatience on their part on the resolution of some of the other issues that were initially raised. What are the issues that have been resolved from the first engagement in the Political Management Office? And what are some of the issues that are a work in progress, yet to be resolved?
For an example, there was a concern, which was not just a concern of one party. It was a concern of the whole collective Political Management Council in terms of the slow pace of finalizing the matter, the appointment of the city manager. That particular process was engaged and that appointment was finalized. So that issue, it's water under the bridge, is history, because there was intervention and the matter was resolved. There is also an issue that they have raised with regard to the MMC of community development, of which themselves they have taken particular decision and made recommendation, which of course the power to appoint MMCs, it resides with the executive mayor. It's a matter that politically has been ventilated and has been finalized. And unfortunately, they are just being impatient in terms of the implementation, and the implementation will be affected. So where I am, at the end of the day, tomorrow or next week, even before council, most of those issues that they are raising will have been addressed. I mean, they raise issues of the delay on the appointment of the MMC of Transport of the Patriotic Alliance. They know for a fact that the delay was never informed by the executive mayor. The delay was informed by the fact that the Patriotic Alliance resolved that its deputy president, after their own investigation, which him, must be reappointed back as the MMC. But at the time this decision was taken, he was not yet a councillor. There was still a process for him to be sworn in as a councillor before the executive mayor can appoint, because the constitution only allows him to appoint councillors. So that delay is that matter is misplaced, is directed, to the wrong person. The executive mayor had no any responsibility in those particular days. And a number, some of the issues that they are raising there, which we think they are not worth to even talk about a motion of no confidence. It matters that the coalition has capacity and capability to resolve them, and where we are standing as the African National Congress, and also myself on my capacity as the Political Management Council chairperson. Those are the matters that structure is capable to deal with, and we will deal with them prior to the next council. Even the caucus Political Management Council, before they go to the programming committee, they will engage in issues.
Yeah.
So we will be able to resolve this.
Your line is busy losing us there, but maybe just last question that I want to ask. Do you think that these parties perhaps are taking advantage of the change in political leadership in the ANC in the region of the City of Johannesburg, in the greater Johannesburg region, given that Loyiso Masuku is now the chairperson of the party in the region and no longer Dada Morero, making him potentially vulnerable?
There will never be any vulnerable ANC deployee for as long as the ANC is party to the government. Comrade Dada Morero is the executive mayor of the African National Congress. He never became the executive mayor because he's the regional chairperson. He became the executive mayor as a deployee of the ANC. So the ANC policy is very clear on who determines who must become a mayor. It's not a conference of the ANC. It's the national office bearers that make such decision. And it is only the national office bearers that will advise us if there are any changes they want to make. But ourselves as the region, we have a full confidence in the leadership of the Mayor Morero, and we believe that he has been doing very well. We want him to continue doing very well in the city, making sure that the inner city is clean, ensuring the enforcement of the bylaws, which are areas which, with interaction with him, that in some of the streets, we see the illegal street walkers who are in the main, the contributors of making the city to be dirty back on the streets. We know that they are going to ensure that the bylaws are enforced. People of Johannesburg are fully informed when there are challenges of issues of electricity. So the deployees are doing very well so far, and there will never be vulnerability for as long as the leadership of the ANC.
Sasabona, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Sasabona Manganye is the regional secretary for the Greater Johannesburg of the ANC. We had reached out to Jamah as well as the UDM. The UDM had responded to SABC News and said that the minority governing party will be meeting and will issue a formal statement in due course. And that's all that they were willing to comment at this point in time.